Have you ever seen a red carpet look so shocking, so controversial, that it didn't just dominate headlines, but actually changed the fashion conversation forever? Moments when the flashbulbs popped, the internet exploded, and the fashion industry collectively asked, "What just happened?" These weren't just bad outfits. They were cultural flashpoints. Dresses that offended, confused, challenged, or outright rewrote the rules. Today, we're diving into celebrity fashion disasters that didn't just miss the mark, they sparked global debates, exposed deep industry tensions, and forced fashion to confront its own values. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a fashion fail the same way again. Fashion has always been about more than clothes. It's about power, identity, art, and social norms. When celebrities step onto the world's biggest stages, award shows, galas, premieres, they're not just wearing fabric, they're wearing messages, sometimes intentional, sometimes reckless. And sometimes, those messages collide with public opinion so forcefully that they leave permanent scars on the industry. Let's start with one of the most infamous moments in fashion history, Bjarke Arkade's swan dress at the 2001 Academy Awards. When the Icelandic singer arrived wearing what appeared to be a full swan draped around her neck, complete with an egg-shaped purse, critics were merciless. Best dressed lists turned into public ridicule. Fashion editors dismissed it as absurd, childish, even embarrassing. But here's where things took an unexpected turn. Over time, the conversation shifted. Was it really a disaster? Or was it misunderstood art? Designed by Marjan Pajoski, the dress challenged Hollywood's rigid glamour standards. Bjarke later explained that she was mocking the seriousness of the Oscars. Years later, the swan dress is now studied in fashion schools and referenced in exhibitions as an early example of performance fashion on the red carpet. What began as a joke became a debate about whether red carpets should celebrate creativity or conformity. Fast forward to 2010, when Lady Gaga arrived at the MTV Video Music Awards wearing a dress made entirely of raw beef. The mate dress, designed by Frank Fernandez, was instantly polarizing. Animal rights organizations condemned it. Fashion critics questioned whether it was fashion at all. News outlets debated whether it was art, provocation, or pure spectacle. Gaga later clarified that the dress was a political statement about human rights and bodily autonomy, though that explanation didn't quiet the controversy. What it did do was ignite a global discussion about where fashion ends and performance art begins. Museums later preserved the dress. Designers referenced it. And the industry had to confront an uncomfortable truth. Shock value had become a legitimate currency in fashion. But not all fashion disasters were intentional provocations. Some revealed systemic blind spots in the industry. In 2013, actress Lena Dunham appeared at the Met Gala wearing a black and white gown by Giambattista Valli. The reaction was swift and brutal. Social media mocked the silhouette, the fit, and even Dunham herself. But what emerged from the backlash was a deeper conversation about body shaming in fashion. Why were certain bodies still considered wrong for couture? Dunham spoke openly about the cruelty of the criticism, forcing fashion media to examine its role in reinforcing narrow beauty standards. The dress itself wasn't groundbreaking, but the response to it exposed how unforgiving the industry could be when celebrities didn't fit its ideal mold. Few moments illustrate cultural insensitivity in fashion more clearly than when Kim Kardashian wore Marilyn Monroe's iconic 1962 "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" dress to the 2022 Met Gala. The gown, a fragile piece of American history, was designed by Jean Lewis and famously worn by Monroe just months before her death. Kardashian's decision to wear it sparked immediate outrage. Preservation experts warned that historical garments should never be worn again. Museums emphasized that the dress was not designed to be altered or stretched. After the event, reports surfaced that the dress had sustained damage, though Ripley's believe it or not disputed the extent. The controversy reignited debates about celebrity entitlement, fashion preservation, and whether cultural artifacts should ever be treated as wearable status symbols. This wasn't just about a dress, it was about respect for fashion history. Another flashpoint came in 2018 when fashion brand Dolce & Gabbana became embroiled in a massive controversy involving racist stereotypes, which directly impacted celebrity fashion appearances. The fallout reached a breaking point when multiple celebrities distanced themselves from the brand, refusing to wear its designs on red carpets. What made this moment significant was how quickly celebrity fashion choices became political statements. Refusing to wear a designer became as powerful as wearing one. The industry was forced to confront accountability, cultural respect, and the consequences of offensive branding. Fashion disasters weren't limited to outfits anymore. They extended to who made them. In 2004, actress and singer Ashlee Simpson attended the Orange Bowl wearing a t-shirt that read, "I am Ashlee Simpson." While seemingly harmless, the look was widely criticized as tone-deaf and unpolished for a high-profile event. Coming shortly after her lip-sync scandal on Saturday Night Live, the outfit became symbolic of a larger debate about authenticity in pop culture. Fashion critics argued that the casual, self-branded look reflected a growing commercialization of celebrity identity. It raised questions about whether fashion was becoming less about craftsmanship and more about personal branding, a conversation that feels even more relevant today. Perhaps no fashion moment has sparked more debate around cultural appropriation than when Katy Perry attended the 2019 Met Gala wearing a Moschino chandelier dress earlier that evening, and later in her career appeared in hairstyles and outfits that borrowed heavily from Black culture. While not a single outfit caused the backlash, the accumulation of fashion choices led to industry-wide discussions about where inspiration ends and exploitation begins. Celebrities, stylists, and designers were increasingly held accountable for the cultural contexts of their fashion statements. What was once dismissed as just clothes became a serious ethical conversation. Then there's the case of Kanye West, whose fashion missteps often blurred the line between disaster and disruption. When he debuted his Yeezy Season 4 show in 2016, models were left standing for hours in the heat, many wearing uncomfortable, ill-fitting shoes. Some models fainted. Critics slammed the lack of organization and disregard for model welfare. The clothes themselves, muted, distressed, unconventional, were divisive. But the real debate centered on ethics in fashion shows. Should artistic vision excuse poor working conditions? The industry was forced to confront how often spectacle came at the expense of people. Even royal fashion hasn't been immune. When Princess Diana wore her famous revenge dress in 1994, a black off-the-shoulder Christina Stambolian gown, critics initially deemed it inappropriate for a royal. But the context changed everything. Worn the same night Prince Charles admitted to infidelity, the dress became a symbol of reclaiming power through fashion. What some labeled a scandal became a defining moment in fashion history, challenging expectations of modesty, femininity, and silence within royal dress codes. In more recent years, the rise of social media has amplified fashion disasters at lightning speed. When celebrities wear outfits perceived as environmentally irresponsible, such as excessively wasteful fast fashion at major events, the backlash is immediate. Stars like Billie Eilish have openly rejected certain designers over sustainability concerns, shifting the debate toward ethical fashion. Every bad look now carries implications about climate responsibility, labor practices, and consumption culture. What all these moments have in common is this: fashion disasters are rarely just about taste. They're about values, power, who gets to experiment and who gets punished, who controls the narrative. Every controversial outfit acts like a mirror, reflecting the industry's priorities and prejudices back at itself. And here's the irony: many of these so-called disasters are remembered far longer than perfectly tailored gowns. They spark conversation, they challenge norms, they force progress, even when the backlash is fierce. Fashion evolves not just through beauty, but through conflict. So the next time you see a celebrity outfit trending for all the wrong reasons, ask yourself, what debate is this really about? Because behind every fashion disaster is a story the industry can't ignore. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the moments that shook fashion to its core, make sure to like this video. It helps more than you know. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories where pop culture meets history, controversy, and meaning. And stay connected because the next fashion moment that sparks a global debate might already be happening right now.